My husband has started to change physically and emotionally, and I'm not sure what to think. Good afternoon Reddit. Recently, since the beginning of the year, I have witnessed a change in my husband's state of being, if you will. He has started working out almost 4 to 5 times a week, lost around 30 lbs of weight, and has started being more romantic with frequent dates, and buying me gifts, clothes, games, etc. Bit of background: we are high school sweethearts of 12 YRS and have been married for 8 YRS. He has never been the outgoing type of person, but always a hard worker / provider. Just not very astute in the romance department, dates, gifts, evenings, etc. We have always tried to communicate properly, and he will even do chores after coming home from work, and getting up early to make the family breakfast. All this has taken what should be a great turn in our relationship, starting this year. He started to, as he puts it, work on self-improvement. From eating better, working out, being more romantic with frequent dates, and buying me and our kids more gifts. I am happy and excited about the changes, even motivated me to start going to the gym as well. Yet I have a feeling something is going on behind the scenes, that I can't put my finger on. For one, he moved all his clothes, belongings, and other stuff back to his man cave / office, saying so he and I can get better sleep, while helping to declutter the bedroom of his excess stuff. Along with him mentioning that some of his female co-workers have started to flirt / hit on him, and he isn't sure how to handle it in the workplace. From my experience, he barely speaks with other women outside of myself and close family. Lastly, he doesn't have a password on his phone, and barely uses social media or messenger apps, other than to chat with his camping buddies and marketplace. From the small snooping that I have done, we have an open phone policy, and will use each other's phones regularly, just FYI. Am I just being paranoid, or is there something I am missing? Comment. 30 can be a get your shit together mental hurdle for a lot of men, as an acknowledgement of getting older. Stuff starts hurting that didn't before and you stop feeling invincible. Be happy that he's taking this as a quest for self-improvement and a desire to be around for you as long as he can. If you trust each other and he hasn't given a reason to not trust him, I wouldn't worry. I don't see anything to be overtly worried about. I think decluttering is also a common step in self-help books, Jordan Peterson, Marie Kondo, etc. I'd probably just ask him what sparked the change in his life so you can understand it better. You may question it because there are loads of stories about this happens when a partner is cheating. They overcompensate out of guilt. He is feeling energized. The weight loss and working out also increases testosterone. Vroom vroom. The ego boosts from the other women doesn't hurt. As for what he can do about the women at work, tell him to reply that he's very happily married to the love of his life. Enjoy it. His is an interesting post, as it comes from a too good to be true point of view, compared to most that are seen posted on here. It sounds like he is doing a good job being a father and husband, having improved following his lifestyle changes. It's hard to know what the motivation for these changes was, from what you've written. Now that he is getting into better shape, he may be getting more attention from women, but it is not to say that this is the main reason for these changes. And it isn't to say that he is going to act on getting this attention, of course. The stuff with the moving of the clothes is what is the biggest question mark here, but maybe there is method behind the moving of stuff outside of the bedroom. Though it does elude me. Next story 2. My girlfriend said that I didn't show up for her like the rest of her friends did. Last week my girlfriend's grandma died. She had to make an emergency trip home and I texted her to make sure she got home safe. Over the weekend we talked on the phone once and texted here and there a couple times. I let her know that I'm a phone call away / text because I didn't want to suffocate her with texts. I know she was grieving and I wanted to give her space to grieve, but still show her I was there for her. A couple years ago her dad died and we talked about how her friends abandoned her and I was trying my best to not have the same thing happen. She got back in town today and didn't tell me, and when I told her I was worried about her, she said, "Really?" I couldn't tell, because we didn't talk at all over the weekend. I told her that I was giving her space, but still showing that I was there for her. When she went home, she told me she was focusing on her family, and I respected that. Girlfriend is saying that I didn't show up for her because I didn't contact her enough, and now she said she isn't sure about us because I made her feel ignored and abandoned. She's going back home on Thursday for the funeral. I talked to her today and she said she doesn't want me to ignore her, but doesn't know where we stand. She said she can't make a decision right now until her emotions come back in check. I love her so much and thought about reaching out more, but I didn't want to suffocate her, and I tried to respect that she wanted family time. Is there anything I can do? Comment. Navigating grief is one of the most delicate and intricate experiences you'll face in any relationship. Your intentions were good, you didn't want to intrude on her space during a sensitive time, especially given her history of feeling abandoned. Yet, it seems that your caution had the unintended consequence of her feeling isolated and uncared for. Her perspective on how much contact is enough may be vastly different from yours, especially when heightened by the emotional toll of a family loss. Keep in mind that family time for her, in this situation, might also mean a desire for additional support from her partner, which is you. It sounds like the ball is somewhat in her court regarding how she wants to proceed with the relationship. But that doesn't mean you can't take steps to make amends. First, communicate clearly about how you're feeling and what your intentions were, but focus more on her experience and feelings. Your goal is to listen and understand her, not to justify yourself. Validate her feelings without agreeing or disagreeing. Grief has its own logic and often defies what we consider rational responses. Second, be proactive but not suffocating in your contact going forward. Send her a message or give her a call to let her know you're thinking about her, but don't overwhelm her. It's a fine line to walk, but important. You might also consider sending her something thoughtful to show you care, perhaps a handwritten letter or a small care package. Tangible acts of kindness can speak volumes when words seem inadequate. Ultimately, this is a crucial test of your relationship, and while it's a complicated situation that you're both navigating for the first time, it's also a learning experience. Your girlfriend's grieving process won't adhere to any predictable pattern, and neither will her needs from you. Flexibility, understanding, and open communication are key. If you can't correct the past, you can at least learn from it to navigate the future more adeptly. Something else you can do is put a note or something in her stuff that she can find, reminding her you love her and are there for her. Also telling her that y'all will get through it together. Apologize for not being there for her how she needed, but remind her that you want to be there for her but don't know how. Hope this might help. I just finished a crisis intervention course, and the common question amongst all our staff was how to navigate a person's emotions when they are sad, angry, elevated. Especially when they come and attack you with statements such as "you are being unfair to me" / "don't care about me" / "etc." You get the drift. We have an automatic response to get defensive, or list our policy and procedures to them. Which in turn, doesn't de-escalate anything and may make them more angry or upset. Long story short, when she states you did not give her the support she needed, and I assumed, you don't exactly know what she needed, the best response is to ask another question, such as "what does that look like for you?" Put the ball back in their court. It gets them to open up more and you are able to learn a lot about what they need. It's great when people are angry and lashing out on you. And this was amazing advice. I think this type of response would work in this scenario. Next time she brings it up, don't invalidate her feelings as the previous response stated. Just ask her, how would that support look like for her? I agree with some of what people are telling you. Grief is very complicated, and how everyone copes with it is different. Though, you obviously know that. I don't think this is something to beat yourself up over. You did your best to anticipate her needs. As for her being tired of having to tell you how to help her, I can understand her frustration. However, one thing she and you need to remember is that we aren't our partner's mind readers. We can do our best to learn someone, and by proxy get better at anticipating how to meet their needs in a way that is satisfactory to them. But we are, at the end of the day, human, and cannot read minds. Perhaps you should have asked for clarification on what she would need from you rather than assuming, but I don't think that necessarily means that you did poorly and abandoned her. We can't take back what's been done, only try to do better for ourselves and those around us going forward. Sometimes we have to ask our partners how they like to be loved, and learn to love them in that way through time. No matter what, you both will grow and learn from this. I wish you and her the best.